Okay, it's okay? Okay. So a while ago, apologizing to the online streamers. Those of you streaming online with us, the mic was actually not working, but we've solved the problem. Now the mic's working. And let us know if you can hear. Okay. So what we're going to talk about now is teaching methodology. So the section in the manual that we're going to be studying is teaching methodology, and under that, 4 points of teaching. So if you can just turn to the page of your manual that says 4 points of teaching. Let me help you find it.
Yes.
Just go back.
More back.
Teaching methodology. 56. Okay, we're very far. Page 56.
Tools of teaching.
Yeah, four tools of teaching. Okay. All right. So it's called 4 tools of teaching. Sorry, not 4 points. So we're just going to have a generic discussion on. So this is page 56. On the 4 things that we need to be able to teach a yoga class. So in summary, these 4 points or 4 tools are instruction, demonstration, observation, and adjustment. This week, we'll be talking more about instruction and demonstration. Whereas next week, we are going to look more into observation and adjustment. So right now, I'm just going to erase these. We're going to look at them next week. The first 2, how you verbally coach a class and how you physically display the movements, are the first 2 things that we need to practice doing as future yoga teachers. There's a difference between practicing yoga and teaching yoga. In practicing yoga, where is your attention? Inside you. When you're teaching yoga, where is your attention? To the students. Okay? And so the way you communicate with them and the way you display what to do is very, very important. Before we go into instruction and demonstration, I just want to give you an idea of how people learn. So there are 3 different ways that people learn. So we have visual learners. Visual learners learn by using their eyes. So some people in your class are visual. So the visual people are the ones that need to see you all the time. I guarantee that everyone in the front row is a visual learner. If you couldn't see me, how would that feel for you, visual learners? Not nice. I mean, you're in the front row so you could see me, right? Okay, so hearing, that's another kind of learning. So some people learn by hearing. Auditory learners learn by hearing. Those are the people that come to your class and close their eyes. How many of you like to close their eyes in yoga classes and just raise your hand high, be proud? There we go. You're auditory. You don't need to see the teacher, but hearing is important. So if they're talking like this, are you going to go back to their class? No. You're out of there because you can't hear. And that's how you learn. Okay? Some people learn by doing, and we call these people kinesthetic. So the kinesthetic people are the ones that learn by doing, and they're the ones that you need to adjust the most. They're the ones that are like, fix me, because that's how you learn. If someone comes and fixes you, you remember it. You remember how it feels. That's how you learn. So, most people, though, are visual. Because of the way our world operates nowadays and this heavy emphasis on seeing for information, more than 60% of the population is visual. They learn by seeing. Okay? A smaller percentage are auditory, and an even smaller percentage are kinesthetic. So most of the people in your class will need to see you. And if you're not really giving them a proper visual expression of the pose, will they be able to really understand what you want them to do? Yes or no? No. So if the teacher is doing warrior 2 like this, visual people, are you coming back to this teacher? No, because it's not communicating anything to you. And if you cannot hear what they're saying, you're also, some people won't come back. So this is why instruction and demonstration are important. So let's look at instruction first. So under instructions, so reading, here are some tips, okay? For any yoga teacher, verbal instructions should be the primary way of guiding your students through the class. All asana classes require a lot of general verbal instructions, depending on your style. Okay. I went to a class where the person just kind of clicks. They just click. Like they go, every time they change the pose, they'll go, but they won't say anything. They'll just go. Because the problem with that is, you can all see the problem with that. There's, some of the students are going, well, hang on a minute. You're not telling me what to do, so I'm not really quite sure whether I'm doing it right or not. It's fine to do if the students know what to do, but if they don't know what to do, it's a problem. First, you need to do what? You need to tell them what to do. Okay, so here are some tips. Always ask and invite students to practice with an alert awareness and friendly, compassionate mind. This is most important about yoga. Developing awareness is why we teach yoga. Awareness about the mind, emotions, bodily sensations. We develop awareness. We don't judge or punish ourselves. So the way you coach in an introspective awareness. So you're coaching your class to be introspective. How do we coach our class to be introspective? What are the kinds of things we can say to them to get them to go inward? Any suggestions? What can you say to the class to get them to go? Yes.
You say like by using metaphors.
Like what? Give me one concrete example.
You could say lift your head as if there's a string being pulled.
Okay, so you're using imagery to get them to see how it feels. It's like you're getting them to realize the nuances of the pose from within, using metaphors. What else?
Not to see your friend.
Don't look at your neighbor. Yes, don't look at your neighbor. It's not important what they can do. Okay, yes.
Put your attention to your feelings and sensations.
Yes, so you need to guide them to feel what they're feeling and put their attention on whatever sensations are happening in their body.
Focus on the breath.
Focusing on the breath. Okay, good. So these are all beautiful ways in which we can coach how to go inward.
Also focus on the yoga.
Sometimes we do. Yeah, we focus somewhere in our body. Yes? Okay. So these are some ways that we need to teach the class to go internal. Okay. Voice, loud but soft and melodious. Adjust your volume to the size of the group. But do you need to make a fake yoga voice? So, welcome to my class, everyone. And then when you're outside the class, you talk like this. Okay, so no, use your own voice, but make it the kind of voice where you're talking to a friend. How would you talk to a friend that you care about? Use your own voice and talk to the friend you care about. Yoga is a conversation with a friend. You don't need to fake your friend. Hi, how are you today? You don't have to fake your friend. They know you. So use your own voice, but add a little bit of caring to it. Like you value the person you're talking to. And that's the voice you use. A conversation with a friend. No need to fake your voice. No need to make your voice quiet because you feel like it sounds better that way. Well, no one can hear you. So don't make it quiet, make it heard, but use your natural voice and use the voice that you would use when you're talking to a friend you care about. Why? Why do we need to do that? So people will respond to you in a better way. If you go around yelling at the students, lift your feet, lift, lift, it's not really, you're not going to be that popular.
It's another sport.
It's another sport. It's okay if you're doing that with love. So sometimes I do yell at you, I will. But it's going to be motivational and not torture. Okay, so you still, sometimes it's tough love, sometimes it's understanding, sometimes it's compassion, but still there's this underlying current of care. Because people, yoga brings out a lot from people. And if you don't use your heart when you teach yoga, it's going to be quite difficult for you to reach people and really help them. Okay? Okay. So, use different intonations so as not to sound monotone. Maybe speak louder to encourage students and softer during restorative poses. So, when they're in the 2-minute planks, you're going, don't put your knees down. But when they're in Savasana, you're like, exhale. So you're not using the same tone the whole time. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, take your leg to the side. Exhale, take your other leg to the other side. Relax. Now work. Work, I told you. It's not going to go down well. You're not going to be too engaging. When you vary the tone of your voice, it makes things more interesting. Okay? And when you can hold the attention of the students, it's going to be more effective for you as a teacher. Everyone following so far? No one's falling asleep? Good. This is the time when the world exhales. So it's the time that everybody's going like this. Okay. And it's perfectly normal. Okay? Articulate properly. Open your mouth. Okay? Open your mouth. If you don't open your mouth, people will not be able to understand you well. First rule of musical theater. I used to be a performer in musical theater. And they used to shove like 10 candies in your mouth and ask you to speak. And the only way to actually be audible is to open your mouth. Okay? And how can we apply this in yoga? When you're working in a situation where people don't speak the same language, you need to open your mouth to be heard and speak slower. Therefore, any accent that you will have will not be too difficult for people to be able to understand you. Got it? Okay. Speak slowly and clearly, as I was saying. Watch the students while you explain. So sometimes it's really fun to teach yoga because your sequence is super fun and sometimes you forget you're teaching, right? And you're like, inhale, hands up, exhale, and you're like that. And the rest of the class are like looking at you, going, and you don't notice because you're not looking. So sometimes you want to say something and check to see if people actually respond to it. And if they don't respond to it, maybe you should try again. Because sometimes it's that way. We say something and people are like, and you can see that on their face, and you're like, what I meant was, and then they're like, ah. Sometimes it happens. So we need to be able to check to see if the students have understood you or not. Okay. Be aware of the instructions while you are demonstrating. Use short, concise sentences. Something you should avoid as a teacher. Okay, I'm going to write it on the board. What avoid? You know, verbal diarrhea is when you're talking. Right. It's okay now? Okay. So as I was saying, don't try to take care of yourself while you demonstrate. Have you warmed up? Respect your own limitations. So demonstrate that we kind of do over and we hurt ourselves. Okay? So just remember, it's about your students' experience, not yours. And being a good teacher doesn't actually mean that you look the best in the room. Being a good teacher actually means that you're guiding your students to be the best they can be. Okay? So it's not about you, it's about your students. Sometimes that means when you demonstrate, you have to teach the easy option. Let's say I'm teaching beginner class and we're doing this one. Okay, this is called Ardha Padmasana. Let's say your class can't do it. You're going to do it? Your class can't do it. Are you going to do it? Probably not. So if you know your class can't do it, even though you can do it, you're going to do something else. Like maybe you're going to do this one. Why? Because your class will be able to do that. Your class can't do this, so you're not going to show it. Okay? This is good demonstration. Okay. Finally, demonstrate if you know the pose properly. If you can't do the pose, get someone else to do it or don't teach it. Sometimes you're injured and you can't do the pose, so you ask one of your favorite students, can you be my model today? Because I kind of hurt my back yesterday, so you're going to be my model and I'm just going to talk today. Or maybe you can't do the handstand. If you cannot do the handstand, are you going to teach the handstand? No. There's plenty of other things you can teach that you know. Okay. Then we have mirror, especially in twists. Inform the students that you are mirroring. Okay. We'll talk about mirroring. I don't want to scare you. Think about your angle of demonstration. So, which way should you face to do your demonstration? So, for example, we've got this pose called the shoulder bridge. So, obviously, when I demonstrate this, I'm going to face side. I'm not going to face this way and demonstrate the shoulder, right? Okay. We got to think about things like that. But don't worry, we're going to talk about that this week. And I'm going to give you some tips. Okay. So this week is about instruction and observation, instruction and demonstration. And next week is about observation and adjustment. Does anyone have any questions or concerns about teaching? How many of you actually are here to teach yoga? Raise your hand high. Be confident. Okay. Maybe half of you. Okay. Let's see what happens after this course is done. Might go up. Okay. Let's uh, let's sit for a moment of silence before we continue. So everyone, I'd like you to sit and close your eyes. Visualize all of the information that we've experienced today from the morning to this point. Imagine it being absorbed into your DNA. Let's sit for a moment of silence and just feel it happening. Om. Take your hands and rub your hands together until your hands become warm. This is something we do in traditional Hatha Yoga. Now put your warm hands on your eyes, open and close your eyes, which symbolizes the absorption of knowledge. And put your hands on the top of the head and do an energy sweep all the way down. All right. Namaste. So that's the end of our lectures for today. And let's have a bathroom break, 5-minute break. And we're going to start moving. Okay? You might keep your notebooks with you. You might want to take notes. Okay. Oh, changing.
No, this one will be with you because this
Okay.
is for live broadcast.
And this is
for recording.
okay. I have
Oh,
to.
yeah.
They're even now.